stand before you today, honored to represent the class as valedictorian. And what a journey it's been. If you told our teachers at the start of the year that we'd make it here, alive, relatively unbroken, and in graduation gowns, they probably would have laughed in your face. But here we are against all odds. Graduation is more than just a ceremony. It's a celebration of growth, of the late nights we spent studying, or not studying in most cases, of the friendships made, the challenges faced, and the personal and academic obstacles we've overcome. Today, we don't just close a chapter. We finish a book we've been writing together for years. Transitioning from primary school to Hillsborough Secondary School was like going from riding a bike with training wheels to driving a car, except I was 13 and the car had no brakes. As for some of you, I know you guys bent a lot of curves already, but I won't call names. I remember orientation day like it was yesterday. There were so many familiar faces, but also so many new ones at the same time. And for a second, I thought, this won't be awkward at all. But then they grouped nearly all the troublemakers into one class, and if we're being honest, Form 1 Silver was the most chaotic class of the three classes, while Form 1 Blue was mild and 1 Red was just in the midst of all the chaos. All right. Sorry. Even the teachers could back me up on that one. We spent so much time coming up with new ways to test their patience, I'm pretty sure some of them thought about transferring schools themselves. And in fact, later on throughout the years, 2 of them actually did. The only thing is that they went into different fields altogether. Speaking of testing patience, I've got a memorable moment from Zion Scott, a student from Form 1 Silver, on an incident that occurred in her form at the time. So it was a normal day, right before lunch. And Miss Lanik McLaren walks in ready to teach her class. And let me tell you, no one, when I say no one, I mean absolutely no one acknowledged or paid attention to her. The room became a playground and all the students were clowning around. Then someone just graciously decided that it was a brilliant idea to take a bottle of water, put some foil in it, and told her it's an acid bomb. And of course, they all went along with it like they were auditioning for a role in a comedy movie to see who could hype it up the most to get her to crack. But Miss McLaren was not amused at all. In fact, she took it seriously and started freaking out. "I'm going outside," she said. They didn't take her seriously until they saw her walking across the lawn, literally choking up with tears in her eyes. Looking back on it, we didn't always make the best choices throughout the years, but honestly, we learned a lot from moments like this, about the impact of our actions, about empathy, and how not to prank your teachers too hard. Form 1 and 2 were a breeze compared to what was coming in Form 3. Honestly, those first 2 years felt like a warm-up, especially since most of us spent them online thanks to COVID. But look at the bright side. At least we got to start over and make new friends, whether on the corridors or in the classrooms, or in some cases just in the chat box during virtual class. Form 3, on the other hand, was nothing like I expected. That year flipped the script entirely. The 3 classes were suddenly merged into 2, and it felt less like a school decision and more like a reality TV plot twist. Who's getting voted out of your friend group this week? We had to start picking subjects based on future careers, which basically meant guessing what we wanted to do with the rest of our lives. Of course, choosing subjects also meant that some of us had to part ways with friends who ended up in different classes. It was like a group breakup, but with timetables. Some friendships slowly drifted, others stayed strong, and in the middle of all that, we made new ones too, whether we wanted to or not. Group work has a funny way of bonding people through shared confusion and mutual suffering. Now let's talk about the real villain of Form 3, end of term exams. Quiet, sneaky, and absolutely soul-crushing. I think I speak for many of us when I say that by the end of that year, we weren't just tired, we were spiritually, emotionally, and academically done. Like, do I really need 15 or more CXC subjects to own a snack shop? I think not. Our brains were fried. Our pens were permanently ink-stained. Our desks, well, they knew our secrets. But in the middle of all the madness, something good happened in my favor. I met my best friend / cousin, dear fellow Alexis. Someone who stuck around through all the highs and lows, the breakdowns, the last-minute assignments we swore we would have started earlier, and everything in between. We laughed through the stress, supported each other through the mess, and somehow we made memories that'll stick with me for life. I honestly don't know how I would have survived without him. Probably crying in a corner with a math textbook on my face. So, Form 3 wasn't easy, but it gave us lessons, laughs, and a friendship I'll always treasure. And I'd say that makes all the chaos worth it, sort of. As for Form 4, it was a lot calmer than Form 3. Like, finally, we could breathe a little bit. Things were more manageable, less chaotic. And before we knew it, the year was flying by. But just as we were settling in, nature decided to shake things up, literally. Everything came to a halt with the hurricane that hit, reminding us that even in the calm seasons, life can change in an instant. And then finally came Form 5, the most memorable chapter of them all. Sure, the workload hit like a truck, SBAs were piling up, after school and Saturday classes became the norm, and deadlines were slowly creeping up on us. At one point, I think even our calculators were stressed, especially when it came to maths class with Mr. Lendor, and less than half the Form 5 population had a calculator. Trust me when I say, caring is sharing. But somehow, in the middle of all that pressure, we still managed to create moments we'll never forget. Firstly, I want to big up the practical subject areas, clothing and textiles, family and resource management, and especially the food and nutrition crew. You all consistently showed up and delivered, especially when it came to the hands-on work, whether it was stitching, budgeting, or cooking up a storm. Your skills spoke for themselves. Every time there was a practical, almost half of the Form 5 population would magically appear by the kitchen door, waiting to get samples. Some even had the nerve to call people from inside to pass food through the louvers, like it was a drive-through window. Another memorable moment was that time, right after Carnival, when, for reasons still unknown, a few students thought it would be fun to punch out some windows in both classrooms. That later led to an emergency meeting with the parents to try and bring back some form of equilibrium. Then it was the spray painting incident where over half the form got sent home for decorating school property without permission. And the rest of us who had absolutely nothing to do with it were pulled aside like suspects in a crime documentary and were heavily interrogated. And who could forget that Saturday class where a few students placed a JBL speaker outside the language lab, connected to it from a distance, and blasted music during class. Mr. Lendo came out, took the speaker, and I bet he gave that one look that said, "You think you're funny? Let's see who's laughing on the day of maths paper 1 and 2. And yet, despite all the chaos and deadlines, Form 5 wasn't just about surviving school. It was about building the stories we'll be telling and probably exaggerating for years. We laughed, we panicked, we ran, sometimes literally, but we made it, and we made it count. Today, this ceremony isn't just about us, but also about the people who helped bring us this far, whether they were actually teaching us, lecturing us, or even just giving some words of encouragement. My mom taught me to put God first. Therefore, I must thank him, in Jesus' name, for bringing us here and this far. I am thankful for the lessons we had to learn along the way, whether it was the hard way or not, and overall for his guidance. To our parents and guardians, thank you for always having our backs, for the sacrifices, and for pushing us to study when all we wanted to do was sleep or social media. Your tough love helped shape who we are, and we're truly grateful. And to our second parents, our teachers, and staff, thank you for believing in us, even when we made it hard. Your guidance, patience, and commitment meant more than we can see. Lastly, to our principal, thank you for sticking by us through thick and thin. The endless assignments, Saturday classes, and countless hours spent at school gave us a glimpse of how much you truly cared, even when we disappointed you many times. You never gave up on us. For that, we'll always be thankful. But it's not just about the assignments or the classes. It's about the little things, like when you used to give us little treats like the cupcakes or the Oreos during Saturday classes as rewards. With all that, we appreciate your dedication and the role you played into furthering our education until we ended this chapter. The theme stated, hard work today, bright future tomorrow. This reminds us that success doesn't come overnight, nor does it come without any effort at all. Our journey has shown us that we must work for the things we want in life and make sacrifices to reach to the next point. Every sacrifice, late night, or challenge faced can lead to greater opportunities tomorrow. We must be urged to approach our future from a mature and visionary outlook in order to attain success regardless of our career path. It's a lot to put into words what this journey has meant, all the memories we've shared, inside jokes, classroom chaos, and moments that shaped us in ways we probably won't realize until much later. We basically grew up together, through awkward phases, tough times, and unforgettable highs. And even though we're all heading down different paths, a part of me will always carry this chapter with me, where I sit back and look at you all for one final time. To my classmates, thank you for all the laughs along the way. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, even if we don't see each other as often in the future. I hope you all keep growing, dreaming, and doing your thing, loudly and proudly. This isn't just a goodbye, it's see you later. I wish you all nothing but greatness, and I know it may seem tough stepping into the real world by yourself, but try to at least go out there and make it. As Plateau once said, courage is knowing what not to fear. Thank you.